I haven't done a video for 2 months. Let's do a video now. So this is going to be a bit of a life update video, what's been happening and what's going to happen, what's definitely going to happen for 2020 rather than what I've got planned in my head for 2020. And let's start this video with some footage of my less than 2-year-old ripping it up on his bike. All the way to the top. Good boy. Keep going. Good boy. Mum, he's not even 2. Wedding. So Jack has been riding on his Kinderfeet's bike. Like, I can't believe how fast he is on this bike. A couple of people have messaged me and said, look, why don't you get him into sort of BMX racing early? Not quite BMX, but BMX on a balance bike. So ding ding, right up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting him into that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So he's had a Kinderfeet's bike since he was 1 year old, less than 1 year old actually. He's had the Kinderfeet's bike and it's outstanding. I love it. It's wood. It's cool. There is that. So that's the young infant, 1 to 2 version, and then there's the next version from sort of 2 and upwards. So originally this bike comes as a trike. It comes with a longer axle so you can have the wheels out, and if your baby's just getting used to the bike for the first time, then you can set it up as a trike. The problem with the trike is when their little legs come back, they hit the axle, and we found that Jack did not like riding the trike. So we set it up as a balance bike when he was about 1, when he just started walking, and he never looked back. So my advice is don't bother with the trike setup, just get your baby a balance bike, or get them this, but just keep it in the balance bike mode. So we needed a bigger bike for Jack, and we got in touch with Strider Bikes. Strider sent us this one, which is really from 2 and above. I suppose 2 until your child starts on a pedal bike. So this thing is pretty cool. And mate, I love it. It's black. We had to get black because there's all these different colours, and I thought, you know what, black's just sort of timeless. So I made it up, and here's some footage of us making it up just after Christmas. So we got that remote control car for Jack for Christmas. Hannah and I actually had a lot of fun putting it together over the Christmas break, and he was pretty stoked to see it. I think as a 2-year-old, he probably didn't appreciate it as much as what a 3 or 4-year-old would.
What's that, Jack?
But we've had a lot of fun with him out the back. We've got an alleyway behind our house, so we've driven up and down the back of the alleyway a few times. It's actually Hannah's grandmother, or Hannah's grandparents bought it for him. So it's pretty cool, but we're just trying it out the backyard now, and he is absolutely loving it. He's a little bit unsure, but he's loving it, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's unsure is Hannah with this remote control driving it. Now let's talk about stuff that's definitely happening for 2020. And with Factor Bikes, I promised in the last video that I'd be doing the Dirty Kanza. And at the end of the day, a lot of you guys know that I'm doing some work with Factor. They've given me a bike and stuff. I won't be doing the Dirty Kanza. It turns out that there were so many people within Factor that wanted to do this ride that I'm sort of not really working with Factor, and I took a sort of a step back and said, you guys go do it. All right, so there's a few crew doing it from Taiwan, but I won't be doing it. But what I will be doing with the guys is going to the Tour Down Under next week. I have a work conference on in Sydney for the first 3 days, and so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be at the Tour Down Under, and I plan on making some videos of Wollonga Hill and just having some fun. Not doing vloggy content, but I want to make one video and just show you guys the beautiful side of Adelaide and the coffees and the bike shops and stuff like that, and just bang it into one beautiful video. So it's not really my style, so I'm experimenting here, so go easy on me. But let's see how this turns out. The other thing I will be doing in a similar sort of style video is the Sail Croatia trip, my 3rd trip in a row. The trip is on the 19th of April 2020. We have a few spots left on the boat, right? So historically in the last 2 years that I've been, they're the premierships, but this time we're on the Olymp, which is a premium boat, first class. So it's not that expensive. It's less than £1,000 for the week on the trip. So if you guys are thinking about going on a trip this year, I highly recommend it. I will be on it the 19th of April 2020. So email me, the details are in the description below. Message me on Instagram, whatever you want to do, or even just go straight to the Sail Croatia website and get on board, but check it out. I genuinely love this trip, and that's why I go back every year. So highly recommend it. Yeah, so seriously, get on board with the trip. It will be an absolute ripping adventure. We have planted a veggie garden, which I'm immensely proud about. We've got tomatoes that are growing out of control. When we planted that tomato tree, literally there was no tomatoes on it whatsoever, and now we have 6 or 7. So this is the first time I've actually grown anything of significance besides my son. So I'm pretty stoked with this whole thing. You know, talking about going out and doing some adventures, obviously when all the fires sort of settle down, I got all my camping equipment and all of my sort of indie pack equipment out of the shed and laid it out and had some fun with Jack in the backyard. And this is some of the footage from that. So I've got this little one-man tent. It is it's a ripper. To be honest with you, I've had it for about 3 years and I've never once slept in it. And I've got a couple of the the little sleeping pads. So I was sort of trying out different sleeping pads. I've got 3 different thickness sleeping bags. And so I think what it's a case of doing is getting out, having a crack, going out for one night, and sort of doing a ride out, sleeping, camping somewhere, maybe getting a crew and doing it, and then riding home. So there is heaps of room in my head, and then you can see down by my feet, I've got plenty of room down there too. The funny thing about riding is when you go out into the hills like that, there's usually, you can call into Mansfield or Bright or somewhere like that and stay in a hotel. So there's that option. I'm sort of like, why would I camp when I can stay in a hotel? But as my brother and a couple of mates said to me, you know, there's something really nice about camping. And it sort of takes you back to nature. And I think obviously with all of the social media and the electronic digital age that we live in, it's nice to get back to nature. So in November, I took Jack and Hannah back to Perth for the first time. Jack had never been back to Perth to meet our extended family. I'm in Perth at the moment with my all the cousins really, my brother's kids. So I've got my dad over there, somewhere over there, if you can see him in the background. And this is my brother Shane over here in the red shirt, and then we've got my middle brother, I'm the eldest, middle brother Brett, and youngest brother Shane over there. Boy, cool story. So obviously while I was there, I caught up with some family and friends. I went riding with my mate Ash, absolute legend. We caught up with a few other mates, but the main reason we were back in Perth, and this was in November last year, late 2019, was obviously to take Jack around and meet the rest of the family. So he got to hang out with, so I've got 2 brothers. I've got my middle brother Brett and the youngest brother Shane. They're both ex-police officers, and so they did some time in Perth in the police force, and now they're both out doing other things. But they've both got kids. So we went around, took Jack around there. Jack's the youngest of all the kids, and he had an absolute ball on the slides and stuff like that. And it was just good to catch up with our family. They live a very sort of relaxed lifestyle on a sort of a mini little farm setup further out of the city. And so it was really nice just sitting out the back, kicking back, watching the kids play, having some beers, no worries about traffic or anything like that. And all in all, my time in Perth was very relaxing. I really enjoyed it. Hey, listen, I think this video is long enough now. I will be back with another video at some stage, probably just after the tour down under, as I said. So, legends, thanks for watching if you've made it this far. Pretty crazy that you just watch me ramble on like this, but thank you. And make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Like the video. You have to do this. All YouTubers do this bit, but it's actually a pretty important part of the whole thing, right? So it'll be really appreciated if you subscribe, like, and I will see you guys in the next video from the tour down under.
1, 2,
2,
3,
3, 4,
whoa, 5,
4, 5, 6.
6,
Yes. Where's 7? 7, 7,
6,
7, 8,
8,
9.
9,
Yeah, and 10.
10.
Yeah. Choo choo. Choo choo.